Top 5 Common Pastry Problems. Sometimes baking pastry recipes can present problems, but we have solutions to your common kitchen disasters. 1. Curdled custard tart filling. Standard custard tarts are pretty simple to get the hang of. Once you've nailed the basics, the next stage is usually to add fillings and flavors. This is where you can run into problems. Liquid flavors like booze, juices or essences can add too much moisture to your custard, causing it to split. Juicy fruits can do the same during cooking. Too high a temperature will also cause your custard to split, especially if you're making one with only egg as the thickening agent and leaving out corn flour. Try not to exceed 180 C during baking or it will split and turn into sweet scrambled egg. 2. Unevenly cooked and burnt pie crust. Ugly pie crusts can be endearing when kids are doing them, but they can be avoided if you're after a perfect bake. Evenly roll out your pastry to start, and gently transfer to the top of your filled pie on a rolling pin. You're less likely to stretch the pastry this way. If appropriate, chill your pie before cooking, the pastry will keep its shape better that way. Keep an eye on your bake. If it looks like it is beginning to burn during baking, loosely cover with baking foil to stop the top burning. 3. Croissants are more bread-like than flaky finish. Bready croissants usually happen because the butter that has been carefully folded between your layers of pastry has melted and soaked into the uncooked dough, creating an enriched bread dough instead. This is still pretty nice, but definitely not a croissant. When making the puff for a croissant, there can be no cutting corners. You can only do a maximum of 2 folds on your dough before returning it to the fridge to chill down. If you're not confident in your rolling, or are in a really hot kitchen, it's best to chill between every roll. There is also a limit to how many folds you can do. Even if you do chill your dough correctly, any more than 7 and the butter will become too thin and melt back into your dough. Lastly, once you've painstakingly made your dough, cut it, rolled it and laid it out to proof. Don't put it in the airing cupboard or the butter will melt again. Prove the croissants at room temperature until they are nice and big, then whack them in the oven. They'll come out lovely. 4. Pie base is wet and paste-like. Soggy bottoms can be a right nuisance, even though they don't really alter the taste of your bake. They are usually the result of either a filling that's too wet in your bake or an undercooked or thin pastry base. These are easily remedied though using a few simple tips. Firstly, if you're making a fruit pie, reduce your filling down first. Fruit by nature is full of water that is liberated when heat is added, so do this in a saucepan first. If you want to retain juice for your filling, add a little corn flour or arrowroot, just to thicken it up and you can keep control of a leaky problem. For meat, fish or vegetarian pies, reduce your filling down for a little longer. This will not only stop your pie leaking, but also give you time to develop more depth of flavor. I like to add flour to either my gravies or white sauces to help thicken, too. Also, don't forget to slash your pie crust when you bake as these holes allow steam to escape. With regard to the bases, you need to exercise a little bit of judgment here. For smaller pies and tarts you can get away with quite a thin base as long as you bake it through, but for larger pies, the volume of filling can add a significant amount of weight, so reinforce your pie accordingly. 5. Puff pastry is sticking to the work surface. Because of the massive amount of fat in puff, you have to be careful of sticking your dough to the table. As mentioned previously, regularly chill your dough so the butter doesn't leak out. When first laying the butter on the dough, don't fit it exactly to the shape of the dough, leave it 1 to 2 centimeters shy of the edge, so you can seal the butter in when you're folding. Lightly flour the surface, and always roll in the direction you want to lengthen of the dough. Try to avoid rolling across the dough as you'll spoil the shape and squidge butter out of the sides. If you think this video has helped you, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share it. Continue to subscribe for more videos like this.